Do I want to?
No, you have a license.
Do I want to start with that one?
Brian, where's my binder?
It's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock. Is the meeting posted? Okay. First thing on the agenda. What happened here? I had this all organized. Okay.
Okay, Commission will now take up the matter of applications for special one-day license for alcohol beverages for beer and wine only, or either one. There is Stanley C. Swan for an event at the Revolving Museum at 22 Shattuck Street for Friday, May 11th, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. The event is the Philippe Lejeune Boogie Woogie Jazz. Also,
Is
John...
Stanley here? Okay. Just stand up there at the lectern if you would, Stanley, please. Thank you. Go ahead.
John Hines for the New England Riptide Games to be played at the Martin Softball Field at 758 Roger Street for dates starting in June the 14th, the 15th, 16th, 17th, 20th, 21, 22, 23, 27, 28, 29, 30, July 11th, 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25, 26, 27, 28. In August until August 13th, there are actually 28 dates. The sale and service of the alcohol beverages would be generally from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., depending on the game, start of the game for each date. This is a matter that requires Board of Parks permission to use the venue as well as for alcohol beverage concession. Also, Scott Plath for beer and wine for Saturday, June the 9th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. The event is the Carnival of Creativity in conjunction with the Revolving Museum's Art Venture Series. The alcohol beverage concession will be in an enclosed area of Lucy Lockham Park. This also requires Board of Parks permission for use of the venue as well as the alcohol beverage concession. And also for all alcoholic beverages, Leo Silva of the Holy Ghost Society for events at Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street, starting with Sunday, May the 27th from 12 noon to 12 midnight is the Holy Ghost Sunday. This is an outdoor activity. Saturday, June the 2nd, from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Trinity Saturday is also outdoors. Sunday, June the 3rd, from 12 noon to 12 midnight is Trinity Sunday, also outdoors. Saturday, June 9th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the St. Anthony's Feast, also outdoors. Sunday, June 10th, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., St. Anthony's Feast, outdoor event. Saturday, June 16th, from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the Artura Brazilian Dance, and this is an inside activity. Saturday, June the 23rd, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight is the St. John Feast, that's outside. Sunday, June the 24th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, St. John Feast, that's outside as well. And then Saturday, June the 30th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight is the wedding reception for an inside activity. And Saturday, July 7th is from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, also a wedding reception inside. And last is Saturday, July 14th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, is another wedding reception indoors only.
Is Leo here? Is Leo Silva here? Okay, he's not here. Okay, step to the mic and introduce yourself for the record, please. Are you Leo Silva?
Yes, sir.
You are. Come up here, sir. Go up to the mic and introduce yourself for the record.
Leo Silva,
Okay,
Director of Holy Ghost Park.
Next. Any one of you, step up to the mic.
Stanley Swan from the Revolving Museum.
Okay, Stanley.
Scott Plath from Cobblestones Restaurant.
Okay, Scott.
John Hines, representing the New England Riptide.
Okay. Scott and John, you both been before the Board of Parks?
Yes.
You have your permits?
We've spoken to them. The meeting is until the end of the month, but we've been told that that we would receive permission and that we would get verbal okay from them before we came before you, because the next
Okay.
meeting would be too late.
All right, just so that when you're speaking, step over to the mic. All right, okay, Scotty. Leo, are you a member of the Board of Directors?
Yes, I am, sir.
What's your position?
I'm a director there.
How many licenses have you had?
This will be my last 11th.
This will be,
Yeah, I have 19 so far.
okay,
This is my last 11.
and 11, and that's it, you're out?
Correct.
Okay. All right. I noticed that there's only one of them till 1 o'clock in the morning, if I'm correct. No, there's two of them till 1 in the morning. Okay, you're going outside till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Those, I believe, are inside, sir.
Not according to the permit.
Says outdoors.
Do we have
St.
two
Anthony's?
outdoors?
Sin-
One says St. Anthony's Feast, the other one was a Trinity Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
Yeah.
The outdoors?
And those are outdoors.
They have outdoors?
Yes, they are, I'm sorry.
We have
sir. Yes, they
outdoors
are.
here, okay? We should be very concerned.
Yes,
Noise levels,
yep.
okay?
The music's shutting down at 11 o'clock.
All right.
Okay. Music is off at 11.
Correct.
Okay. Stanley, have you been before us before?
No, sir.
You have?
I have not.
You have not, okay. All right, I'm going to give you the short, abbreviated version so you'll all understand. Okay? The others have been before us, and they know. If we issue this license, Stanley, this is your license. Okay? This is not the museum's license. It's your license. And that means you are responsible. If anything goes wrong, anybody is overserved, any type of an altercation, God forbid anybody gets hurt, anybody gets drunk, this is your license. So you should make sure that you're there. You should make sure that they have some type of insurance to protect you, because the license will be in your name. You need to be people step forward and they want to raise money for various events, and so somebody has to step up to the plate, and we admire you for doing that. But the commission has always been very concerned of making sure that people, all of these people that are with you, know that it's your license, and with that license is a tremendous amount of responsibility. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Do you have any questions at all?
No, sir.
You don't, okay? You realize that this is going to be a closed-in area,
Yes, it is.
okay? Do you have a policeman working? Are they going to have a policeman, do you know?
No.
No,
Not-
you don't
Not
know?
to my knowledge, anyway.
Well, we don't require it, but I always say to people, when you have some type of an event like that, it's not our policy to say you have to have a policeman, but it is our policy to say that probably in your pocket, you should have the number, either 911 or the police number, so if something goes wrong, you can call right away. There is an ordinance in the city of Lowell that says, and they realize this, any type of altercation, you will call the police. When it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be in trouble, but we like to nip things in the bud so that there's no big problems and it doesn't get out of hand. Okay?
Understood.
The Riptide, you guys have been here before. Scotty, you understand. You've done these things before. Do you have any questions? I have no questions. Do you have any questions, Commissioner?
John, just the same setup as last year with the Riptide?
It is.
The same thing, okay, same,
It is, yes, it is.
same concession stands, or however you guys worked it.
Yep.
All right. And what's your third year up there now?
This will be my fourth selling beer and wine.
Oh, okay, all right. Last year, you guys won it all, didn't you?
We did, world champions, yeah.
Nice.
Very good.
All right, I don't have anything further. I'll make a motion to approve them.
Motion made. I'll second that motion. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Good
Okay,
luck.
gentlemen. Good luck. Come back as a winner again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay,
Swan,
s-
Mr. Swan, if you will come into the office tomorrow morning.
All right, I'll be there.
Okay, Leo, you've got some dates for amplified sound. So-
Commission will now take up the matter of application for special events permits for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Frederica Donna of the Cultural Organization of Lowell, Cool, Saturday, June 9, 2007, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. The event is in conjunction with the Revolving Museum Art Ventures at Lucy Lockham Park. There will be live performances. There will be a sound system. This requires Board of Parks permission to use the venue. Also, Leo Silver of the Holy Ghost Society for outdoor events scheduled at the Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street. The events will have live entertainment with sound system. Those outdoor events will be Sunday, May 27th, from 12 noon to 10 p.m. That's Holy Ghost Sunday. Saturday, June 2nd, from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, Trinity Saturday. Sunday, June 3rd, from 12 noon to 10 p.m. is Trinity Sunday. Saturday, June 9th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, St. Anthony's Feast. Sunday, June 10th, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., St. Anthony's Feast. And Saturday, June 23rd, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, St. John Feast. And Sunday, June 24th, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., the St. John Feast.
Introduce yourself for the record,
Leo Silva, Holy Ghost Park.
okay?
Federica Donna from Cultural Organization of Lowell.
Okay. Have you ever been before us before, Frederica?
No,
No.
this is my
Okay.
first time.
The city, you're going to be at Lucy Lockham, is that where it is?
Yes.
Let me look. Yeah, that's downtown, okay? 11 o'clock is not late. You shouldn't have any problem, okay? Reasonable sound. The city does not have a decibel level in place. We don't want to put one in place. We expect people to be reasonable, okay? Leo, the same thing. You know, the outdoors coming, we don't want you in here for anything other than good occasions, okay?
That's what I'm counting on.
All right, and you know, so far, we're doing wonderful. And we want to keep it that way, all right? Okay, so that's all we're asking, that's all the people downtown are asking, is a reasonable decimal level so everybody can enjoy the music, and yet those people that want to, you know, lay back and take a nap on their couch can do so without getting blown off, all right? Any questions? Commissioner Gary?
Just on the art ventures, what is it, like an art show that's gonna be different artists that are gonna be displaying their goods, or or is it just musical things? What's the event, how is this gonna run, and what's it about?
Well, all the series is a multimedia arts series devoted to public artworks and
Okay.
performances,
Yeah.
both music and dance performances. But
Okay.
this particular event on June the 9th,
Yeah.
it will be featuring also only probably one or two songwriters. So just we will need just a pocket sound system.
Okay.
So very low key, no.
Okay.
Any,
Nothing hard rock.
yes.
No, I'd like to say thank you. I think these are great events, and I think it really helps the city, and I'm glad that people are stepping forward to organize these.
Okay.
Thank you.
Make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that the licenses be granted.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Okay, thank you.
Public hearing. Oh, this is wrestling. Oh, this is Hooks Live. We're doing wrestling, aren't we? We're gonna do the
Chaotic wrestling?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. No, that's all right. Okay. I was wondering. Let's see, I was hoping we were gonna bring wrestling into Hooks Lights.
Commission will now take up the matter of the applications for public amusement for Chaotic Wrestling Incorporated. Walter Jamakowski is the treasurer. There will be shows at the Polish American Vets, 10 Coburn Street, starting with Friday, July 13th from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Additional dates will be Friday, August 10th, September the 7th, September 28th, November 2nd, December 14th, all Friday evenings.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Walter Jamakowski with Chaotic Wrestling Incorporated.
Okay, you are the promoter?
Yes, I am.
You are. How long have you been doing this?
The company's been in existence for 7 years. We've been running with the Lowell PAV for about 3.5 now, I believe.
Okay. Any problems with the chaotic? You want to send a couple of policemen up there and go a few rounds, or no? Oh, okay.
Lieutenant Golden will go up there. Very.
Yeah,
Him and
yeah,
his kids.
No problems?
No problems.
No, we haven't heard from you, so,
No?
no. Commissioner?
I have no questions.
Commissioner?
Motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
You're all set.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Good luck.
Okay. Okay, you've been down to see this, okay. Have you been down to see this? Yeah. Okay, next.
Okay. Commission will now open the public hearing on the application by Hookslide Kelly's LLC, doing business as Hookslide Kelly's. Michael J. Calorie is the manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 19 Merrimack Street and also 139 Page Street, for alteration of premises by adding an outside cafe, seating at an open area at 15 Merrimack Street, and to construct an unnumbered door east side of premises at 19 Merrimack Street.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Mike Calorie.
Mary Calorie.
Okay. Just give us a brief overview of what you're going to do, Mike. I know that we've got the thing, but for the audience, and this is your shot for free advertising, at the city's expense.
Right, might as well take advantage, huh? Our plan is, as it says, the outdoor seating. And what we'd like to do is turn it into somewhat of a Yorkie way with TVs for the ball games. It's a sports pub. We're kind of looking at taking the inside of the building and moving it to that alley. We're in agreement with LRTA for the use of the alley, to be vendors, sausage carts, so forth, to be like going to the ballpark. If you can't get to Fenway, you got to go to Hook Slides. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to think of his name. Sergeant Demora.
I just got a question.
Captain Demora. Whoa.
I'm just wondering if this is going to be like permanently enclosed? You can't walk
No.
through the alley from the beginning?
No, there had been concerns about that. Well, our plan is, I would lock the gates when I leave at 3 in the morning, or whenever it is, and then the cleaning guy comes in at 6 in the morning, would open it up for people parking in the garage to go back and forth, and it'd be fully staffed whenever we're in operation out there.
So it would be closed to like the kids?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's good, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's, that alley has been probably our number one problem downtown, so with something like this, that's why I was hoping it was gonna be closed like kind of full-time, because it would stop the kids from,
Yeah.
that's where the fights are, that's where they meet between schools and what have you, so, I mean, this is a good thing for that part of the city, where we're constantly down in that area for issues in that alleyway, so now it's being used. Because I think it's been vacant for a number of years, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Since the buses left downtown.
right, yeah,
I mean, ideally, yeah, I would like to close it off,
right.
keep the gates locked, but there are people that park in the garages that live downtown, they go
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
so, they still have access.
You're going to have it open during the day.
Yes. Cleaner man comes in at approximately 6, 7 in the morning, he'd open the
You're
gates
going to
up,
have somebody
opens.
out there all the time.
That's right.
I mean, what
Additional staff.
Captain Moore is saying is that's one of the problem areas. You going to take the tables and stuff in at night, or just lock it in there?
We'll close them up.
Just close it up. Okay? All right, let's open it up to the public. Is there anybody here in opposition to this permit if it's issued? Is there anybody here in opposition? There's no, hearing none, that portion of the hearing is closed, excuse me. Is there anybody here to speak in favor? In favor, in favor. That portion of the hearing is closed. Commissioner?
I'd make a motion to grant the license.
I'd make him sweat a little and ask him something.
I can't say anything. I know that they're very good about enforcing their cutoff policies, and matter of fact, in not letting people in after 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Commissioner Gary.
just as a side note, somebody approached me and they didn't know my capacity in the city of Lowell in terms of this and talked about your organization and about how you require 2 forms of ID to get in and
Correct.
stuff. I said, good for him. Good for him. I think he's doing the right approach. On this thing, is there a bar set up outside or is
No,
there gonna be
but-
service coming in from the main?
We'd probably be looking at like a portable tap system outside, just to make
Okay.
it a little easier, and then
All
at the
right.
end of the night, that would be closed up.
All right. And what about the alcohol service? Is there a door, there's a back door?
Right.
Is that how it's gonna be?
No, there's a side door, there was a side door in the alley. At some
Oh, there
point
was?
in that building, they bricked it up. And that's what we're looking to
So
open
you gotta
up.
bang out of there and?
Right, so you'd come in off Page or Merrimack Street.
Yeah.
Off Page Street, excuse me.
Yeah.
Down the alley and into Hook Slides that way. The door that's there now, that's being utilized, would be staff and deliveries only.
Okay.
Because the kitchen's right there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a congested
Yeah,
area,
yeah.
so
So there's another door that's where the established part of the bar is now? with-
That's right.
There's a TV back there?
It's right where the waitress stand is. There's a Patriots logo. It's, if on the outside.
Not that I've been in there a lot.
No.
No.
All right. I see where so
You were
there's an existing
investigating.
door you gotta bang out,
Right.
bang out, all right.
She stands right here.
Yeah, there's a sketch right there. At the first lamppost, if you're looking from Page Street.
Yeah, speaking of that,
Okay.
is that the only, I mean, I'm not being
There's-
critical. I'm
No,
just
there's three
questioning.
lampposts with the big globe lights, 3 or
Yeah.
4 lights on them.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, I
Okay.
walk, there's plenty of lighting out there.
Yeah,
I'm out there
okay.
tonight.
I don't know how many times I've been through that alley, I can't count, but every time I've gone in there, as the captain alluded to, something's always going on, whether someone's doing something they shouldn't be doing, or you're just taking a look at people that are hanging around there, so I think it's, on the LRTA's part, to get rid of a little bit of a headache for them too, I think it's a great idea. I think what you do inside your established place bodes well for you because you take care of the place, you're a good business owner, you seem to be melding very well in that neighborhood as it changes from, it's not so much commercial till we get a residential element. You're melding pretty good, and I think everybody has to take a look at that and behold that, so I'm gonna second the motion to approve it.
I went in there a couple of weeks ago, twice actually, with my grandson, and he just thought that was the most wonderful place with the TV, and you've done a really nice job with it. I remember, the place before, I was kind of interested myself and wondering how you were gonna control the alleyway there, but I think it's gonna be a tremendous, addition to the city. I think it's going to be a great addition, I really do. The motion's been made and seconded, all in favor say yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay?
luck.
Best of luck with it.
Thank you.
Yeah? Okay. Excuse me, next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the application for change of corporate manager by Gothia Corp., doing business as Rusty G's Place, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 731 Lakeview Avenue. Change of manager from Nada Gothia to Gary Gothia.
Introduce yourself for the record.
James Flood on behalf of Rusty G's. I'm here with Gary Gothia, president of Gothia Corp.
Okay. Is Nada Gothia here?
No.
No.
Mom wants to retire. She's going into Social Security, and she put her application into the
God
elderly
bless her.
housing. So Mom wants to
Okay.
throw in the towel.
Do we know these people, Captain?
Yeah, no record.
Okay, we don't know them?
I don't know him.
That's-
Well, I know him.
That's good for them.
Rusty G's, that's,
Oh,
those are
okay.
good things,
All right.
yeah. Just from,
And how long have you been there, Gary?
Since we opened.
Since you opened?
Yeah, I've been basically the night manager as it goes, per se.
Yeah.
I've been Mom's been showing me the stuff. I've been involved with different establishments throughout my whole life. With former Captain Gookin, I worked at O'Hara's for years, helping out there. So I'm pretty.
Who'd you work for?
Former Captain Gookin,
Okay.
James Gookin. He owns O'Hara's in Drake.
O'Hara's,
Mass.
okay.
So I was there for a while. I helped out there
Yeah.
for a long time. I've learned
You understand the industry and the dangers of the industry?
absolutely.
Good.
Like I said, I've been there since day one we opened, so I'm familiar with the premises. I'm familiar with the operations there. I know what's going on, 100%.
I have no questions.
I'll
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay. You realize it has to get sent to Boston for the approval?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next on the agenda.
I gotta step off on this one. 'cause-
Okay. This one? This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as a point of information, I'm going to be stepping off on this next hearing because of, looking at the correspondence, there's a conflict that raised with my office, so I'll step off.
Okay. And do we have all the we have all the permits and everything?
No.
Huh? We don't. What don't we have? Okay. All right. Yep. Yep. Okay.
Be public comment, I'm sure.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Ewlings, Commission will now take up the application, the renewal applications of James S. Ewlings for lodging house licenses for properties at 114 and 120 Cabot Street. It is alleged by neighbors that there is illicit activity taking place inside and outside the properties. Also, Mr. Chairman, there is communication from the acting superintendent, Kenneth LaValle, reports of alleged illegal activity by tenants residing at the premises at 114 and 120 Cabot Street on dates April 13th and May 1st. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ewlings has not been given formal notice of hearing on any of these matters, other than the fact that he was told by communication to come in on the matter simply of his renewal, and that there were maybe issues with the neighbors. But as far as any police complaints, he has not received formal notice, though just before the meeting convened, I did hand him a copy of papers that you have before you now.
Okay. Introduce yourself for the record.
James Ewlings.
Okay. You have here's an application in to have the license renewed?
On both properties.
Does he have his fire and inspection and all of that?
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, as far as the lodging house license,
Right.
it's a license that takes effect May 1st of each calendar year.
Right.
And it expires the following year on April 30th. In conjunction with issuing a new license or a renewed license, each and every lodging house licensee has to maintain compliance with the local and state code that pertain to the fire prevention, fire department, inspectional services, and also the Board of Health. With respect to the two properties at 114 and 120 Cabot Street, the only confirmation I have in the office as far as approval would be that of the fire department.
Thank you. Do you have the other documentation?
The building department has been there. I'm just waiting for them to issue the certificates of occupancy. And the health department, I have to get the dumpster permit, and then they will issue occupancy. I just haven't paid for the $50 dumpster permit for the one sitting in the driveway.
Why haven't you? It's past May 1st. You should have had all of this stuff ready.
Right.
Your license was due on the 1st.
Right, that I
It
missed.
doesn't,
I missed
okay.
the dumpster
We have a
permit.
number of I know that you just got the letter from the police department.
Yes.
We have some citizens here that have written letters. Is anybody here that would like to speak on this? Is there anybody? Come up, introduce yourself for the record. And go ahead, sir.
My name is Bill Phelan. I live at 111 Cabot.
You live where?
111 Cabot Street. I live
111?
across the street.
Okay,
I bought the place in October 2004.
okay.
And since then, it's been pretty much a combat zone across the street. You have there on the record from the police pretty much what's been going on. Drug dealing, open prostitution. I can't get somebody to come and visit me because they're scared to visit me. They say, I'm not coming to visit you, come and visit me. Just 2 weeks ago, somebody came and took a 4x4 out of my yard and clocked somebody over the head with it.
Ooh.
And well, the fire department's always there, and the police department's always there. And it's just a horrific, if you want to do some work out in front of your house, you got all these hooligans looking at you. And it's no secret what's been going on there.
Yeah.
You see people just reaching into cars like this, and they're just not even scared. They're just, I grew up in Boston. I went to Don Bosco, and I used to have to walk through the combat zone. And the combat zone had nothing on this area.
Is, in your estimate, this is basically the boarding houses, though?
114 and 120.
Okay.
And they're very bold. I'm a big guy. And,
Have you ever called the owner and talked to him about it?
I don't know who he is. Now I know who he is now.
Okay. Okay.
I rented to this girl for 3 months. And, the first 2 months I was getting along good with her, and she was pointing out to me, she goes, they're dealing crack across the street. I go, I'm pretty naive, I guess. I go, that's not crack, maybe a little marijuana. And then I was hearing up and down my stairs at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And finally it woke me up. I have 2 dogs. And so I hid behind the door, and I heard somebody coming down the stairs. So I reached out and I grabbed the son of a bitch. And I saw him going across the street. And it was somebody from 114. His name was Papo. And I told him in not so many words. I can't tell you what I told him. And then 3 days later, up and down. She moved out. She's living with somebody from over in that 114 and 29 Salem Street. They got a whole wild Indians.
Yeah.
It's got to stop. I live there. We all live. These are homes.
Yeah.
It's a New York to Lowell Zoo train ride here.
Okay.
Finally, we all got together, and maybe you'll do something.
Do all of these
about it.
folks live there?
Yes. We finally got together, and we're here to speak.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you just get up and...
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I could, I'm not sure if this is I assume this is not a hearing on the merits, as Mr. Hollings just got notice of it today. It's only on for a renewal application. If there is going to be a hearing when you take evidence, you may want to ask Mr. Hewlings if he wants to go forward or whether or not he wants to get an attorney.
Well, his license is obviously lapsed. His license, to operate the rooming house is lapsed.
That would be a separate issue as to whether or not hearing from neighbors regarding complaints, which could be grounds to take a license that hasn't lapsed.
Well,
This is the communication I sent out.
this is what you sent out? It said, have you seen this letter Ryan sent out?
Dated May 2nd? Dated May 2nd?
May 1st.
May 1st. The first I saw of it was at 3 o'clock today. This is the first that I have seen it.
Okay, but he's had this since May 1st. The letter clearly states you're hereby notified that at a regular meeting of the Lowell License Commission on April 26, 2007, the License Board reviewed communication from the neighbors of the properties at 114, 120 Cabot Street is alleged there is illicit activity taking place inside and outside said properties. Under the circumstances, the Lowell License Commission is to review the renewal application for lodging house license. For each property, you are hereby notified to appear before the License Commission at a regular meeting on Thursday, May 10th at 3 p.m. In the City Council Chamber, second floor. And it was sent out certified mail, and he obviously got it.
If he was given notice, that's one thing. I thought I heard that he just got it today.
No, he just got the police report today.
Right.
But he's
This,
been
if I could-
notified. We got a stack of letters here from...
Deputy,
Go ahead.
Acting Superintendent LaValle had, through his office, had forwarded a letter of complaint. It was received, I believe you have it.
Yeah, it's right here.
And it's, can you just check at the bottom of your page, at the bottom of your package here? If I can just be bold enough to go in here for a second.
Number one is, and I can go, the letter clearly states that, he was told there was some letters of complaint.
So long as there's notice, that's fine, but I was...
This is one of these situations where, he's collecting rents and he's driving the people crazy.
Right.
And I would venture to say he doesn't live there.
Right. I was responding to what I had heard as to he just got information today. I thought that was the first, if he's been
Okay,
given notice,
well-
he's been given notice.
Ryan, would you be kind enough to give him that letter dated May 1st? And see if that covers it. Okay. All right, this is what he has not received, but that has nothing to do with the letters from the neighbors. I don't see, well, okay,
If there was sufficient notice, there was sufficient notice.
Well-
Again, I was responding to what I had heard.
read this, I mean, this, he just got. But the letters of complaint from the neighbors, he was warned about. This letter here is dated May 1st.
I do not have a copy of that letter.
Okay. To me, I mean, okay, let's set all the letters aside. I'm going to tell you the way I look at this, real simple. He's got property that he owns in Lowell that he's making a living from. He's collecting rents. With that is certain incumbent responsibilities of getting licensed again as a lodging house. He is allowed the license to lapse. Period, end of statement. I don't care how many complaints he's got or not. If that house burns and he's still running it as a lodging house, you can bet your life the public outcry against this board would be unbelievable. If I had a lodging house and I knew that May 1st the license was due, I probably would have started, back in April or March to get everything in place to make sure I had my renewal. He has lapsed.
Right, and I guess, again, there are two different issues. One is having the licenses and stuff for
Okay.
whether or not it lapsed. The other is whether or not there's grounds, in addition to that, not to issue it. This May 1st letter does give notice to be here to discuss the problem. So
Right.
that would be notice, but I guess, from my perspective, there's proper notice, but again,
Right. Well, I mean,
I'll leave it at that.
Counselor, I don't want to put the city in a compromising position. I'm saying that if you set the letters aside and forget all of that, okay, let's ask ourselves a question. Owning having a license to run a lodging house is like driving a car. I have a license to drive a car. Now my license to drive the car lapses, and I get stopped by the police. The police don't need to find out my record of whether I was a good driver or a bad driver. I don't have a license to be driving.
Right.
They have an obligation to take me off the road. I think we, as a commission, myself personally, I feel we have an obligation to tell him the license that the boarding house is closed and he should vacate the people because.
Right, but again, that would be different than, again, there are two issues. One is, does he comply with what he needs to have for the license? The second would be any type of conduct that was being conducted on the premises, which would be grounds to revoke the license if he actually had it. And that my concern originally was that there was no notice regarding these other instances, but it was on the renewal. But then after this letter, there was notice.
Okay.
But then again, there are two issues. One is, does he have everything he
Right.
needs that he should have gotten in April? And the other is, are there other factors involved?
Right.
So,
Okay,
let me just
go ahead.
clarify
Yeah.
then, if we deal with the first issue, which is whether or not to renew the license in the absence of the Board of Health certifications and the inspection certifications, we don't need to reach the second issue, if that is decided in the negative.
Correct.
Okay. And if we decide to grant it in the absence of these, then we reach the second issue on, whether or not it deserves revocation based on misconduct.
Correct.
Okay. Well, then why don't we deal with it in that order? We'll take the first issue.
Well, the first, he obviously doesn't have the appropriate documentation that he needs. He obviously didn't start on time, and neither one of the houses has the inspection certificate or the, dumpster, Board of Health. I think the thing compounds it. I don't mean to be, piling on or anything, but as far as I'm concerned, he should be notified he doesn't have a lodging license. It's that simple. Something happened in one of those houses with the people there. How many times we've told people that when you have these places, you have to keep them up to snuff. There's a fire, people get killed in a fire, the outcry would be unbelievable. Would be, and rightfully so.
Captain, could you tell us if you have any issues regarding safety or complaints of safety with the structure? Has anything ever been brought to your attention, or any officers ever been in there and had complaints about the condition of the building? I
Yes, they have.
Okay. I know we're waiting on information.
But I think that that's more aligned with the fire department
Building
than
inspector.
police. You know, we've had numerous occasions regarding, illegal activity.
Okay. All right. And sir, can you tell us what kind of timeline you're looking at for these missing papers?
Well, I'm just waiting for the building department. I should be able to pick up that occupancy tomorrow from them, and then the dumpster thing should have been in today, and tomorrow I can go down and see Dawn at the health department as far as getting the health certificates.
No, I know, but even if he gets
I
his
know.
paperwork,
That's,
we're subjecting, these people are taxpayers. I'm sorry, but they have a right to a life,
right.
okay? Do you live in Lowell? Do you live over there with those houses,
No, I
sir?
don't.
You
No.
don't?
No.
These are private citizens. I realize you just got the letter from the police department, so I'll set that aside. But we always say here, we always try to ask folks here, that if they have a complaint against an establishment, if there's something that's out of control, don't be afraid to come and tell us. And these people have obviously taken time out of their day,
I understand, and it's the first that I've talked to them.
and they're really upset about this.
And in the past, I have dealt with Jim Trudell.
You've been here before us because of
Yes.
problems at that
And
place.
that's when I first bought the property, and Jim, I met at the last meeting I was here at, and we had worked together ever since then. I didn't know he's no longer taking care of that. He usually would call me, and we would walk the property ourselves. If there was any tenants that were the problem, they were evicted.
Maybe I'm missing something, but, I can't vote to give a renewal on a license if we're missing the required documents. If I had unpaid parking tickets, I couldn't renew my driver's license or register my car. Am I missing something?
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm sorry, but again, it goes back to exactly that. If you have a driver's license and you've got a car, and you know the license is going to expire, you get out there and do whatever you got to do to be able to keep driving.
I guess I'd say that, if you were to get all of your documents and apply for another license, that would be a separate matter. But, I can't see any way that I could vote to
In the
grant
past-
a license in the absence of these.
When I first bought the property, the first year I did let it go, I didn't realize the date, it was May 1st. On the certificate from the building department, it says June 1st, and I didn't look at the license part of it. And there was, Mr. Nguyen granted me some time, I think it was 2 weeks or something, to...
That's because
to
Mr.
bring-
Nguyen's a nice guy, and he
bring
works
everything.
with people to
Yes.
try to get
And
things
I know,
done.
and
But he doesn't live there either.
Right, and he can,
Okay.
I'm sure he can tell you that I respond to any letters, any calls that I get, and I do cooperate with the police and the fire department and anybody, and the city officials, I do. I've been in court with the evicting tenants from there, and I've been down there myself. I work the property myself. I do the repairs, the painting, and the...
How did it get this many people?
I'm not sure. I'm not. Like I said before, if things started to get out of hand, I was notified by Jim, would call me at home. I would meet him. He had the office on Stedman Street on my way into Lowell, and we would address tenants, and I would go over my logbook with who lived there and how long they lived there and their social security numbers, and
Captain Moore.
Yeah, Commissioner, I just want to put the police department's side on this. This is not our responsibility.
No.
It is not our responsibility to contact owners of houses and tell them there's illegal activity occurring. They should be on the property monitoring it themselves.
Right.
That's all.
Right, I didn't mean it was the police's responsibility to take care of it, but I have cooperated.
I'm sorry, as far as I'm concerned, I can't vote to renew the license. Based on what legal counsel's telling us, we're not gonna go to the second phase. I'm gonna make a motion that we do not renew the license. We should probably notify the building inspector or whomever it would be in charge of notifying them that it is not licensed as a boarding house. And if he decides that he wants to try to get a license for the property, I think that we can listen to the people in the neighborhood at that point in time. So I'll put that in the form of a motion that we not renew.
I will second that motion. I would say that at this time, I would agree that we can't renew this. If you come back before us with all of your paperwork and all of your inspections and certifications, then we'll reach the second question. But at this point, you just don't have everything you need to get the license.
And if you come back, you gotta understand that you gotta deal with this. So, you gotta deal with that right there, with the people. These people are due some consideration. Okay?
Okay.
Are you seconding that motion?
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
I don't know if you want
Closing it.
No, I have a question.
Yeah. Excuse me.
One fast question.
Yeah.
Will we also be notified, the people whose names and numbers are on those complaints and the addresses, please? Can we be directly set a thing of when the next date will be?
What do you mean, if he applies for the license over
Correct,
again?
please?
It'll be in the newspaper notice.
It doesn't have to be advertised. Does it have to be advertised?
Well,
It's not required unless you choose to have it advertised, but it would be in the form of a legal notice that would be at the expense of the applicant for the license.
Oh, okay.
If you wish to go that way, but it's not typically
Not required.
not required unless you want it to be.
Okay.
How long will it take before he can reapply?
He's gonna have to get a current fire and a current Board of Health certificate. He's gotta get a inspectional services. What else does he need? Needs those three, right?
What I can do is if and when Mr. Ewlings does file a new application, I would send notice to the various departments to do, either to submit as they deem appropriate for their proof of compliance, or if he has the certificate of occupancy, which he claims he'll have tomorrow.
All right.
And it can only happen at a meeting?
I'm sorry?
It can only happen at a meeting in this room?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, it would be
That's all I
here.
need to know. Thank you.
Okay.
But I was just saying, that the question,
Okay, well, yeah, but, okay. Who would we send a notice to? We revoke the license. Who would we notify? The building department? Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. Terrible things. Okay. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of appearance of Pavlos Tamblakis of resident at 486 Westford Street, Lowell, to address licensing board about restaurant licensee Pizza by Conrad, located at 494 Westford Street. Advertising, the business is advertising hour of closing at 3 a.m., starting June 1st. Mr. Pavlos? Mr. Chairman, Mr. Pavlos, before the meeting convened this afternoon, Mr. Pavlos had been in the office, License Commission office, I should say, and I told him, instructed him to come to the License Commission meeting here at the council chamber. Apparently, Mr. Pavlos has decided to not come in.
Okay.
He was questioning me how long it would take. I said, well, it'll probably take 3/4 of an hour before it comes up.
Okay.
So he's not here, so.
You were right.
Anyways, so I go forward.
Go on to the next one.
Commission will now open up hearings on allegations of misconduct against the following licensees, starting with WKA Investments LLC. These allegations are charged by Kenneth LaValle, the acting superintendent of police. WKA Investments LLC, doing business as the Brewery Exchange. Vincent Formini, manager. The all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 201-205 Cabot Street. The complaint is the alleged sale and service of alcohol beverages to intoxicated premise patrons and off-premises consumption of alcohol beverages by those patrons.
Okay, introduce yourself for the record, please.
My name is Vincent Farmini. I'm the general manager of the Brewery Exchange.
Okay.
Wayne Brasco, owner of WKA Investments LLC.
Okay. All right. Have you read the complaint?
Yes.
You have. And you want him to read it into the record? Do you need it read?
Well, I wouldn't mind going through the details of the complaint, and then I'd like to respond to it.
Okay. Well, we're going to do that, but do you want him to read it verbatim? Oh, you've already read it. Do you want to waive the verbatim reading of it?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Did we do any, I understand the complaint, and we had somewhat of a discussion. Captain Demore, were we going to have somebody check on the actual?
Yes, we did. I believe we have it here. The area that we were concerned about, based on this, was where they were smoking.
Yes.
They were also drinking there.
Yeah.
And the other area that typically is used at the brewery for outdoor
okay.
is okay.
Yeah, but that little area is not?
That little area is not.
It's not. Okay, do we have a drawing of that?
I think you have it.
Just to get is it in the packet? I'm sorry.
It's at the end.
It out.
There it is.
Okay. All right. This
This is the back page of the packet. This is the existing outside area that's permitted under the license.
Yeah.
This is where it's alleged that people can go out and smoke, and then just that, if that's be the manager's decision, but in no way
there's
can
no drinking,
alcohol be served out there. Or
Okay.
allowed
All
to
right.
drink out there.
I know they do. Yes. Okay, you understand this area that speaking of up to, the patio area where they smoke, okay?
I do, yes.
I think, I'm not going to sit here and think you did this on purpose.
No.
I think most of the people, ourselves included, probably assumed, and that's why you don't assume things, that it was licensed to be able to have a drink and smoke. I think the easiest way to resolve this problem, and I haven't even discussed this with the other commissioners, but I think the easiest way is, do you want that to be a part of your licensed premises so they can drink and smoke there, and if they do, you gotta make up a drawing and submit it, or you've got to say to us, there'll be no drinking there, they'll just be smoking. I mean, that's your decision.
What I think, first of all, we don't serve out there. Patrons brought drinks out there. And again, I thought that the outside license that we have on the other side applied there, but it doesn't. It would probably be in our best interest, in everybody's best interest, if we don't allow alcohol out there.
Okay.
We'll just allow it for smoking. And what we've done, as far as taking action on that in the last couple of weeks, is we've added more detailed police officers to our Saturday night agenda.
Okay.
And I believe that that would be one of the key areas that we have in the past posted a police officer, and also on the other side, and a couple inside. But to me, that would make the most sense to not even bring alcohol out there, because I think it just creates potential problems.
And how are you going to police that? You're going to put some signs up at the door, or
Well,
have a person out there?
signage, and we do have a security person out there.
Okay.
And again, with enough detail officers, I will also
Okay.
have one out there.
How does that sound, Captain Demora?
For that portion of the
Yeah.
issue? Yeah. for
Just
that
smoking, no drinking,
Yes. Mhm.
you know? Okay? How does that sound?
That sounds pretty
How does that sound to you?
Yeah, just go, that's what the
Okay.
license for now, right, so.
All right. I don't think that,
I mean, Commissioner?
yeah,
There's the issue of what happened out there, though. That's what we're concerned about. That somebody, the actual allegation of the throwing the beer bottle at the police cruiser.
oh, from this side? Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't
I mean,
realize that was.
that's the more serious.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was from that side.
Right, this
I'm
complaint
sorry.
is actually not about that particular issue. It's about, we made some arrests there. An officer had made an arrest outside, non-related to anything at the brewery.
Okay.
As they were leaving,
And-
somebody that was at the brewery threw a
Okay, but
Heineken
that
bottle.
did that take place from that side where there was that
I
little?
believe so.
Huh?
I have Lieutenant Hodgson
Okay,
here who could get up and
where
speak
is
on
he?
that.
Why don't you
Yeah,
come up?
we hear from him.
I'm sorry, I thought that was
Okay.
just, that little area was
little area.
just the smoking, drinking issue.
Mm-hmm.
Just that small piece, but it wasn't. Hi. Want to put the mic on, please, Lieutenant? Yeah,
If you can press that, Jim, yes, good.
How's that?
I
The light's
guess.
on.
Huh?
The light's on.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Tell us what happened. Make me understand, was it the little area up the street?
Yes,
Where-
what happened was early morning hours of Sunday, April 15, 2007. I was in charge of the response unit that night. I was riding with Sergeant Kilmartin, and we responded to the area of the brewery out on Cabot Street. There was an arrest unrelated to the brewery, and as the patrol wagon took the prisoner away, someone threw a Heineken beer bottle at the wagon, missed it, and the bottle landed in front of our cruiser on the street. So myself, Sergeant Kilmartin, stayed there to see where the beer bottle came from. We had no idea where it came from at that time. As we pulled away, a second bottle was thrown and it struck our cruiser. We stopped, and at that time, when we approached the outside patio area where the smoking area is, the detail officer at that point saw the individual through the beer bottles and subsequently placed him under arrest. That was inside the smoking area where they were consuming alcohol outside.
Okay, did this take place now at the, I'm trying to figure out, was this in the main area or up the street?
This is in the smoking area that the brewery allows the people to go outside and smoke. That was also consuming alcohol. That was the plan you were looking at.
Okay.
That small area there, that's where
All
the
right.
beer bottle was thrown from.
Yeah, but did you see him drinking alcohol? I mean,
Yes, when we responded, there was approximately 30 patrons outside there smoking and drinking. There was alcohol
Okay.
being consumed out there by other patrons of the establishment.
Okay, it's in the last page here. Right here,
Yeah.
right there.
But talking about the purple area is where
Right.
it's saying that it's happening.
Right.
Okay,
As opposed to the yellow.
okay. Based on your observation, did the people from the brewery exchange cooperate?
As far as,
The people that were there? I mean, as far as
Patrons?
not the patrons.
Management?
Some of the management.
did you talk to him after the incident?
I didn't talk to anybody that night. I went back to the brewery a few days later and explained to them that that area that they were consuming alcohol is not allowed per their license permit.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, I didn't speak to anybody that night.
No.
We ended up making 3 arrests as a result. When the person was
From
arrested,
the patio?
from this one incident, there was 3 arrests.
Okay.
And the 3 were patrons of the brewery that night.
Okay. Were they all in the patio that night?
Yes, they were. All 3 were at the patio.
That's where the arrests were made?
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not denying what happened. He's exactly right. I arrived over at that area shortly after the incident happened and before the arrests were made. As I stated earlier, we don't serve out there. Patrons went out there with to have a cigarette, and they brought their drink with them.
Now, just
Which-
quickly, is there a door that leads out there, or?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so you don't have to
Yes.
walk down Cabot Street, there's a door
No,
that?
no. It's an enclosed area with a fence that they cannot go beyond it
Yeah.
with their cigarettes or anything. We have, in the past, not too long ago, decided to change the format on our Saturday nights to adjust the type of crowd we were getting in there, so we wouldn't have any potential problems. Wayne Brasco here is a new owner, and there's a lot involved with taking over, and it's a large investment. We plan on being here for the long-term investment and not the short-term. We're investing a lot of money in the place, and I think there are a lot of people in this room tonight, or this afternoon, that can attest that it's a good operation, it's a clean operation. In the years that we've been in Lowell, we've had many patrons come through the door. I think our batting average is pretty good as far as incidents compared to anywhere else. As a result of that night and what had happened, there were patrons that came in, and you know, sometimes the ones coming in late, you're not sure what they are bringing with them as far as intoxication, and sometimes one drink can put them over the edge.
I absolutely agree 100%, but the thing is, when they come, they're yours.
No, I understand that.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
I agree what you're saying 100%.
Commissioner, I understand that.
Yeah.
I've been in the business a long time, and I take a lot of pride in my work, and I don't want to be on the wrong side of the fence when it comes to dealing with the commission. We terminated the security guy that was out there that night, and again, I've added 4 to 5 detail officers. I schedule them every week with the detail office. If I get 2, I'm lucky. And a lot of times, they will bring in a couple of other fellows after they get off their shift, after 12 o'clock. And I'm not blaming anybody for that. That just happens to be the nature of the beast. And it's a situation that we're in. But I believe until I totally adjust this crowd, and we're making a real good effort at it, I do need a little more police presence. I think it's important. I think if I had an officer down there at the time of that incident, I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to throw a bottle, especially at a police car with an officer standing right by him. And I'm not blaming anybody, but we are making adjustments. I've got a new format that's going to be starting up on Saturday nights, which will curtail that crowd. But in the process of curtailing that crowd, I guess a letter was written to the newspaper calling us racist because I wasn't letting a certain element of people in the door. Well, I guess these are the pains I have to go through in making this adjustment, and I'm willing to do it. We are also putting together a program where every single server in a place will be tip certified. That it's going to be mandated to everybody. Our second floor on a Saturday night is going to be more like a sports bar theme. We've already put in big screens. Last Saturday night was a good indication of the crowd we had in there. There were no incidents, there were no problems. I didn't have any troubled people in there. It was a unique crowd. It was a good cross-section of people, age from 21 to my age. So those are the changes we're making, and so far it's been good. And like I said, we're there for the long term, and we're changing the format on a Saturday night. The Saturday night incident was, it was a terrible
You say that
situation.
the gentleman you arrested, was he fall down drunk?
All 3 were intoxicated, and the bail commissioner refused to bail them due to their state of intoxication.
I'm sorry?
The bail commissioner refused to bail them shortly thereafter
So-
the arrest due to their state of intoxication.
Can you tell me what time? Because I'm reading the report, and it says that he
12.
initially refused to bail them, but then they were later bailed?
They were bailed out approximately between 10 a.m. and noontime that same morning, that same Sunday.
Were they placed in protective custody?
No, they were charged, one person was charged with 2 counts assault by means of dangerous weapon, disorderly, and resistant. A second defendant was charged with disorderly, and a third was charged with disorderly and resistant arrest.
Well, you know, it ends up and I can appreciate, you're going through a growing pain, but you have been there a long time.
I have.
He's going through some growing pains. I think if he remembers way back when when they appeared before us to buy this, I think we warned him and tried to tell him that, it's a very, very difficult business, very difficult. You haven't had a lot of problems there. I think this is probably the second time that you've been before us, so
You're
that I can
absolutely right.
remember. It would seem to me that over-serving is the root of all evil.
Totally agree with you.
It's the old idea, I'm going to get that beer muscle up and I'm going to show them what I can do. Fortunately, the beer bottle hit the cruiser and didn't hit a policeman. And we're not sitting here talking about somebody laying in a hospital. But, I guess if you're going to use that as a smoking patio, my first indication to you is somebody's got to be there. Somebody's got to make sure that, and I don't know what letter you're referring to. I didn't, personally, I didn't read it and I don't care. The alcoholic business today, you have carte blanche to throw anybody out or to stop anybody from coming in. The people today are, they have a couple of beers in them, they just get wacky. This is very serious. You had 3 people that were so drunk they couldn't get bailed. So they kept them overnight. Fortunately, the police arrived. Did you call the police?
They were there.
We were already there, sir.
You were there?
An unrelated matter out in the street. Nothing to do with the brewery.
Nothing to do with the brewery.
It was a separate arrest.
I'm sorry?
It was a separate arrest.
You had another arrest, but it didn't have
nothing to do with the brewery. We just came as a backup unit with the officers. They were on scene already. They had a motor vehicle stop.
Yeah.
Arrested
Okay.
a person for a warrant.
Commissioner Gary?
When was the last time they were in here, Ryan, if your records reflected? Recall?
I can't give you a specific date, but I would think it would have been at least 2 years, maybe 3 years ago.
You said that the bartenders are going to be tip certified. Is some of them tip
All
certified?
employees,
All employees?
including waitresses and
Is
waiters.
that a process that's ongoing now, or has that been completed?
We're
or-
making application as we speak.
And you say, what's your hours of operation? How do you handle a Saturday night typically?
On Saturday night, we have 6 to 8 security people, and ideally, the best case scenario is I have now 4 detail officers. I have 2 security people downstairs watching a line with also a police officer if we decide not to let certain people in. I have another person inside carding in that area that we just talked about, that smoking area. I have a security person down there, and ideally, I'd like to have a police officer down there. I also have 2 police officers up on the second floor, moving around, watching the crowd, and security people up on the second floor.
What time do you start clearing the building?
We start clearing the building at 12:30. We announce, excuse me, not 12:30, at 1:30. We announce last call at 1:15. I lock the front doors about 10 minutes of 1.
10 minutes and 1, nobody gets back in there?
That's correct.
Nobody gets in there, okay. I don't have anything further.
Commissioner?
No, I mean, it seems to me, it seems like you got the right idea, you're taking the right steps.
We're being proactive with this.
It looks that way. I mean, unfortunately, I mean, criminals are gonna be criminals, but, I think you seem to be headed on the right direction right now, so.
I mean, I think that the attitude that you have with the tips, the over-serving is gonna have to be your main concern of the thing, you know?
Absolutely.
And I, like Commissioner said, I didn't see anything about a letter, but, you know, for me, your most important asset, you know, and you put a lot of money into that building, you bought it for a lot of money, you keep putting money into the building, and like I said, you wanna be a long-term person in that area, and I don't blame you, because that area is developing, and, you know, and it's hard work, and your fruits of your labor are gonna pay up, but I think you understand as well, the most important thing you have there is we own it, and that's the license.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, I think you realize that, and so I think they're taking steps there to remedy that. It's a big place. There hasn't been too much activity going on around there that we've heard of, but, you know, we'll be looking at it in terms of what we decide to do here, and I'm thinking, you know, place it on file for a certain amount of time, let you go through those growing pains, but be wary that, you know, if something should happen again and we see you in front of it, then, you know, it's gonna be a little bit more,
I understand that I'm in the
repercussions.
radar screen.
That's just my looking at it.
And we're on our toes, and we're edgy about the whole thing, and we're trying our best to, maybe we're a little active in the place.
You can never be overly active. There is no such animal in this business. There is no such animal. Do you have a machine? Do you have a carding machine?
A carding
Put the
machine?
license through? Do you have the machine, this new?
Not the machine, no, we
Yeah,
don't.
you ought to look into it. You're talking about, you know, if I had my say, see, when somebody had a violation, I'd say to you, I'll give you 4-day suspended license or buy a machine. I can't do that because the law says I can't. But I'm telling you right now, they have a machine. You can flash those IDs through, and it tells you in 2 seconds whether the person's
Right.
over 21 or whether it's a valid license. That's being proactive.
Yep.
Having it right there at the door. And if I was hiring a police officer to work a detail, I'd have him standing there.
We do.
And we flashed the card through, it came up under 21, there's somebody he can arrest. And all you have to do is that once or twice, and the message goes out like
Right.
wildfire. That's where you lose. That's what people don't understand. In a liquor establishment today, if a minor can get in your building with a false ID and get served, it travels through the city of Lowell like wildfire. Everybody knows. Look for the gray-haired guy that's the manager. If he's on the door, he doesn't check them carefully. Believe me, it's unbelievable. The kids can tell you exactly how to get by it, okay? So this isn't a buddy-buddy. I know you're taking steps. I'm going to make a motion for a 3-day suspension and suspend the 3 days and have them on file for 6 months. So I'm going to make a motion that we suspend your license for 3 days, and we suspend that, you know, you don't have to serve them, but we're going to hold them for 6 months. And that's going to be a penalty. You're not going to serve any time, but if you're back here before us,
You get your 3 days.
you're going to get your 3 days. If I get a second on it.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
No? Yes. Yes, okay? You understand? I would get one of those machines. That there's the greatest little invention that ever came down the pike.
Commissioner Bayless, we've been, I'm not doubting the machine, I haven't seen one, I've heard of it, but we've been very, very successful at carding, and we ask for backups on
Good.
IDs, and we usually have an officer downstairs.
I'm not saying you have to get one, I'm just telling you, it's
Yeah.
a suggestion.
I mean, we've got a pretty good system.
You can't be too
yeah.
careful in this business that
I
you're in.
understand.
I think the more important element coming out of this hearing, you got to understand, is the over-serving element.
Right.
And,
Obviously, these 3 guys were loaded.
that's what I'm finding that happened here today, and that's why we...
Somebody on your staff should have said something like, see, these guys, get them out of here. They've had too much to drink. And maybe the tips training will bring that about. Hopefully it will. You've done a good job. I'm not saying you haven't. But there are other barrooms that haven't come in at all, okay? So good luck to you.
And I just add, I would give you credit, and I would like the record to reflect that it was your detail officer that was down there working who did make the initial arrest, did identify the individuals. So obviously, I mean, you're obviously working in the right direction with the details, and you've got good people down there, but you just need to keep a better eye on some of the crowds, I guess.
And realize too, talking about the details, that it's not gonna always get filled the way you want it to get filled, because you're busy coming out of Lowell. It's your responsibility, you know, if you gotta get extra private
Right.
help there, then you do it, because chances are that the city of Lowell won't be able to fill them all, because that's difficult, the staffing down there, and they usually, you know, they're good about it, but they can't do it every time, but that's your responsibility, no one else's.
Now, you can't expect the police to constantly, you know, people say.
No, I agree.
They got a
I
right to be
figured this-
home with their families. They got a right to spend a night with their wives. They got a right to make it home in one piece. They don't have to be dealing with a bunch of drunks.
I
Okay?
figure the most
Thank you.
police presence is better than the less police presence.
Yeah, I understand.
Yep. Thank you. Next on the agenda. Thank you, officer.
Thank you.
Commission will now take up the matter of the complaint as filed by Kenneth Lavalley, the acting superintendent of police, against licensee MKJ Liquors, Inc., doing business as Conlon's Liquors. Mary Silva is the manager. The all-alcoholic beverage packaged goods store licensee at 12 Bridge Street, the complaint being an alleged sale to minor. Mr. Chairman, this is in regards to the Lowell Police Department conducting a sting to check on various licensed establishments.
Okay. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
My name is Mary Silva, manager.
Okay.
I'm Joe Silva, Mary's husband.
Okay. Come for a little support, Joe? Hey, you better stand there beside me, right? Mary, what happened?
Apparently, my employee did not card the individual. My employee did not card the individual that came in to purchase.
Were you working?
No, I was not.
Who was working?
Albino Silva, an
Who?
employee.
Who?
Albino Silva.
Okay, and what relation is he?
No relation, just an employee.
There's no relation.
No relationship.
Okay. And what did you do?
The store is a one-person operation.
Yeah, I know
We
where
have-
it is,
We
right
have
in the
one employee there at each time. This is the latest employee we have. He's been there for a little bit over 3 months. Now, we thought that we had gotten through to him, explaining the importance of IDing everyone that looks under 30. That's what I pretty much instruct all the employees.
Everyone. If they come in with a walker, you got an ID, how do you know they're not out for Halloween? Dressed up like a little old guy. How do you know they're not? Everyone. You card everyone, and then you don't make any exceptions. And you never forget, you card everyone.
I totally understand the importance of IDing. I mean, we have a teenager ourselves. There's no excuse for this. We have no excuse but to tell you guys that basically we failed to do our job. And I can tell you what we've done in the past. There's 5 employees there, including myself. 4 of us are tip certified. This particular employee has not been tip certified, but we are in the process of getting him trained. There's no excuse. This is our first offense that we know of. There's been stings before in our store. We've gotten letters in the mail congratulating us for doing our job. And I don't anticipate this will happen again. All I can guarantee is that we're going to continue to work hard not to allow this to happen again. Just no excuse for what happened.
Commissioner Gary?
You say the employee's going to go through the training?
Yes, 4 of us have the training, and this particular employee has sold that night, but he has not, but we're in the process of getting him scheduled to be tip certified also. But I also have to say that about 3 months ago, approximately 3 months ago, there was a sting in our store, and with this same particular employee, and we did get a letter in the mail congratulating that he did his job. So he did have the understand, but no consistency.
That's the thing, you gotta, like the commissioner said, everybody, her, you, everybody. I mean, that's what I'd do if I owned one, because it's the most important thing you have is that license, you know? So, you know, if people take offense to it, so be it. You lose the $10 for a 6-pack or whatever it is, but so be it. Everybody, that's just the approach I'd have. So it's just like getting up in the morning. Here's your money, here's the card, here's your beer.
I couldn't agree more. And
Yeah,
this
all right.
is We've talked, I mean, every day I keep reminding and talk about this with all the employees, so.
Yeah, you
we
work too
just-
hard.
we
You work
fa-
too hard
we-
for us to take away their license.
We
Pay the
failed,
bottom
we,
line, you know?
basically, we failed to do our job, and
Yeah.
there's no
I
excuse.
appreciate your honesty on it, and I think you realize the importance of it, and from my perspective, it's the same thing that was happening before, Captain? Yes, sir. And the officer, she's not here today, or?
No, the other officer is here.
The other officer's
Yeah.
here? Okay, all right. You don't have any question about the complaints. They admitted to being wrong on it, you know? Again, I don't think this would be the first time, because I think that, the police department is being extremely proactive in these, and I think it's a good idea, so everybody has to be on their toes. And again, it's so easy if you just do it for everybody. Just make it part of your routine. Everybody gets carded. Wally, everybody. So, I mean, I think we've handled these in the same fashion that I'd look to handle it again, as just putting it on file for 6 months, and understanding that they understand the seriousness of it.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next.
I gotta step off this one.
Okay. Belvedere? Yeah.
Commission will now open up the hearing on the complaint as charged by the Acting Superintendent Ken LaValle, Belvedere Wine Corporation, Inc., William M. Palermo is the manager of record. This being an all-alcoholic beverage packaged goods store licensee at 36 Concord Street. Again, the complaint is alleged sale to minor as conducted by the Lowell Police.
I'm gonna step off this for a conflict.
Okay. Introduce yourself for the record.
William Palermo, sir.
I'm sorry?
William Palermo.
There you go, Bill. I knew you could speak up.
Thank you.
What happened?
Mr. Chairman, can I just
I'm sorry,
interject?
you're talking to me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if you wanted to introduce the fact.
Well, I've been here waiting patiently, and I think I can
Okay,
handle my own.
let me just introduce the matter, just in fairness to Mr. Palermo. This will be his second offense on a similar charge with regards to sale to minor. This is also under the sting that was conducted by the Lowell Police. Mr. Palermo's attorney's law office called the License Commission office earlier this afternoon. I did not take the call, but the message was left on my answering machine, in which it was stated that Mr. Palermo's attorney was in Cambridge, presumably in Cambridge, in the court, and was doubtful if he would be able to make it in time for this afternoon's scheduled hearing. I briefly had a conversation with Mr. Palermo before this meeting convened here in the council chamber. Mr. Palermo is certainly free to request of you, if you wish to consider it, a continuance. Otherwise, you may proceed.
You want to continue? You want to?
Yes, sir, I'd like to
You do?
continue.
Okay, have you read the complaint?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay, tell them, this is your second time?
Yeah, but yes, sir.
When did you get caught the first time?
February,
You got caught in February, and
April 6th.
what's
Was
going
the-
on?
If I can have a moment at a time, all I can say is, first of all, I just found out about it last week. The employee never told me about it, and he has been fired. I'm going to fill in on Friday nights from now on and not hire anybody else to take this employee's place who took the last employee's place.
Was the guy that didn't get caught the second time the same person who got?
No, sir, no,
No! You lost, you got two losers.
that's why I'm taking the place. I'm
Two.
not going to put up with this anymore.
What do you think, Commissioner?
Is the rest of your employees, what do you do as far as your tip certification on your employees?
We don't have tips because 9 times out of 10 I hire people that are looking for part-time work, that are, older gentlemen that have a full-time job already. The situation that happened was, I don't want to call it unique, and I'm not trying to make excuses. And this is the reason why I've been sitting here wondering if I'm going to speak or if I was going to wait for my lawyer. But I'm going to take my chances and say, like I said, first of all, the employee has been fired. I am going to fill it, I am taking his place for the remaining Fridays until I've signed with a commercial broker because we were going to sell the license. I can't handle this anymore. All right. I'm going to be responsible on Friday nights, and my other guys at work are very, very responsible and haven't had a problem. I guess my only leg to stand on is that the gentleman, the clerk, did card the underage person. And in the report, it does say that the underage person said that he had lost his ID. And on the clerk's decision, he said, well, I'm going to let it go this time.
Wrong decision.
Right, I understand that, sir. But the only extenuating circumstances that I feel that I want to bring up is the fact that this gentleman, and I have pictures to corroborate what I'm going to say, took out his wallet, fished through his wallet, and then told the clerk that he lost his wallet. I understand it's a no-go, all right? But I just want to say that there are extenuating circumstances, and the next customer that came up was asked for an ID, showed his ID, he took the ID and checked the ID. And then the next people that came into the store were the police. I mean, I have the pictures and everything.
Yeah.
I can give them to you if you want. I don't know if it's gonna, I don't understand it might not matter.
Bring him up. You think that maybe, some 19-year-old kid probably once in his life tried to forget lost his
I
ID?
do think that, sir, but I mean, this gentleman
Probably happened.
opened up his wallet.
I don't care if he had his mother there and she said he was 21. If he didn't have the...
This is the video of those.
Yeah, that's okay.
And you want to check them out. The dates or the time is, you can figure out from the time how it happened.
This the kid.
Yeah, 54, 52, 53.
My intentions are to run the store as a variety/redemption center because we do a big redemption. And my plan is just to get the license out of the neighborhood. It's been 20 years that I've been there, and I think it's time that neighborhood doesn't need a liquor store in it. It's a one-way street on an off-road.
So what do? You're going to give up the liquor license?
I plan on selling it. I already have signed with a...
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, not to make any influence on your decision. It's just...
No. No. I'm no good at this, but I'm going to tell you right now. If this is the kid right here, boy, he shouldn't look 21 to me.
And I understand that, sir. That's why he did card him.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Commissioner,
did card him.
If that's neither here nor there, or...
I'm just concerned about a comment that he made about selling the license.
Yeah, he's not going to sell the license.
He's not going to
trust me.
sell. Yeah, right. Okay.
He's not.
I'm not sure if he understands that, though.
He probably doesn't, but the license, you don't own the license, sir.
I understand, but I can
The city
sell...
of Lowell owns the
Right,
license.
I understand that, but I can sell the...
The business,
Yes,
correct.
thank you. I'm sorry.
And you can ask if you get a viable
Approved.
buyer,
Right.
you can make an approach and say, would you allow the license to be transferred?
I understand completely.
And based on that, but the license basically is of no value to you.
Right.
Okay?
I understand that.
Second time, twice in a row, first time, shame on me, shame on you. Second time, shame on both of us.
Look, I did look at the photos, and yes, your guy behind the register did, looking at the time sequence on the photos, he did card him, he didn't have it. But he still did make the wrong decision when,
I
he was
understand.
presented with,
And like I
don't
said,
have it.
this is only just for you to understand the situation that happened to him.
And I think, obviously, the employees don't quite get this is your livelihood.
Right.
And they're putting
I
it at risk
understand.
for you.
So now you got rid of him, so now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make a motion, we suspend the license for 3 days. We're going to suspend that. It's going to sit on record for 6 months. Okay, you come in again, you're going to be closed. I'm not going to...
I understand.
Okay? If that was your son or your daughter, or God forbid, you should be thankful that, they didn't walk out of there with a bottle and have a few drinks and wrap themselves around a tree. The impact of what you're doing is far too dangerous to be caught twice in such a short period of time. I sympathize with you because employees, the employee gets a paycheck or gets paid. It's your livelihood.
I understand, sir,
Okay, they
completely.
don't understand at the end of the night if there's no cash in the cash register.
Well, he does now.
Because you take it out of your pocket and give it to them, but there's nothing for you to take home, okay?
Yes, sir.
So, I'm, you know, you seem sincere. I'm looking at the pictures. I guess I've gotten old, you know, but I do see that, as the commissioner said, he has his wallet open and whatnot. That's the motion. 3 days suspended.
I'll second the motion.
Be on file for 6 months.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Second, all in favor, say yes.
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 You want to retain the record?
The pictures, do you want to put them in the file?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need the video.
No, we don't need the video.
didn't consider the video, so.
You can have the video, but we're going to retain these pictures for the
since we did
file.
consider 'em.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, there is one more hearing on matters to do with the allegations of misconduct as charged by Kenneth Lavalley, the acting superintendent of police. This being against the corporation known as Tyler Perry Corp., doing business as the Dubliner. Lorraine Lucier is the manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 197 Market Street. The complaint is that alleged sale and service of alcohol beverages to intoxicated patrons.
Good to go. Okay. Okay, I'm going to step out on this one if it's all right, gentlemen. I have it. Oh.
All right, okay. Could you just introduce yourself for the record, please?
Hi, my name's Tom Economo. I'm the owner of the Dubliner.
And I'm Laurie Lucia, the manager.
Hi. You received a complaint from the commission?
Yes, I have.
You read that complaint over?
Yes.
Do you wish it to be read into the record, or you waive the reading, not admitting anything to the complaint, but you can just waive the reading and,
I know exactly what it said, yeah.
okay.
I-
You want to just waive the reading?
Yes.
Okay. Captain, there are people here regarding this complaint?
Yeah, the Officer Bucelis is here.
Okay, why don't we start with, hear what the officers have to say, then I'll go
Sure,
back to you and
okay.
hear what you have to say, okay?
Yep, right here, John.
Good afternoon. My name is John Boutselis. I'm a police officer in the city of Lowell. My name is spelled Boutselis.
Could you describe what happened the night in question at the Dubliner pub?
Yes, I was on duty in Car 8 downtown on cruiser patrol. It was around, I believe the time was around, shortly around or before 2 o'clock a.m. I responded to a call, a dispatch of a fight in front of the Dubliner. As I arrived, there was a brawl going on the sidewalk in front of the bar. I pulled up, the party separated. I stopped several individuals down the road as they headed away towards Palmer Street, and another officer arrived, spoke to other individuals who were involved in the fight. We had a witness, an eyewitness who lived above the building, above the Dubliner in one of the apartments, and who stated that he saw one of the individuals stomping with his foot another person who he'd been fighting with on the ground, on the sidewalk. We placed that person under arrest.
Okay, you said you were called to the Dubliner?
Yes.
What did that call generate from, do you know?
I do not know. I was at the police station shortly before 2 a.m., and
Okay.
I was there about 2 minutes after the call was given out.
And when you arrived, this was happening outside the premises?
Yes.
All happened outside the premises? Okay.
Yes.
And any arrests made that night?
Yes, there was one arrest made.
Any questions, Commissioner?
I note that the individual that was arrested had been previously arrested for getting into a fight in that same neighborhood?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I arrested him several years ago, coming out of the, I believe it was the Blue Shamrock on Palmer Street. He had severely beaten another person I think it was 2005, very similar to this incident where he basically was very aggressive in his behavior and intoxicated as well.
Repeat customer, huh?
Do you know what the status is on any of the cases against this individual?
I do not,
He's
sir.
being
I have not been
prosecuted?
notified to go to court yet on this case.
You notice the level of sobriety, could you just describe that for us a little bit?
The individuals that I spoke with were if you refer to the report, the individual battling groups were referred to as the Coast Guard versus the Marine Corps people.
Yeah.
I spoke with the 3 Marines, which the defendant who was arrested, Stubbs, was one of the Marines.
Yeah.
They were intoxicated. There was no doubt in my mind they were intoxicated.
Okay. Now, you said you saw them outside the establishment. How do you know that they came from that establishment?
They told me, spoke to both parties and both groups, stated that the incident began at some sort of an altercation inside the bar that night, and I believe it then escalated to some sort of an intra-service rivalry, name-calling about the different services that they were involved in. At least that's what they told me. And then as they spilled out onto the sidewalk, it turned into a fist fight.
And what night was this, a Saturday night?
I do not think so. I believe it was during the week, a weeknight. Yes,
Wednesday
thank you.
night? And you said you had conversation with the neighbor of the establishment?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the neighbor came down from upstairs in the, I think it's the McCartan's building upstairs.
Yeah.
And he spoke to Officer Christopher Smith, who was one of the officers who arrived on the scene, and he was able to identify the person who actually, by his clothing, he was wearing a Harvard shirt. He said the guy in the Harvard shirt stomped on the Coast Guardsman who was waiting for the ambulance, who ended up being transported by ambulance.
And that was the one arrest that was made?
That's correct. Stubbs was his name.
Okay. And he's the individual you had arrested?
That's correct.
A few years earlier?
He was, as you said, a repeat offender.
And tell me, the alleged victim of the thing could he identify the person that was doing that had hit him?
I don't recall whether he did or not.
Okay.
I'm not
Did he get transported to the hospital?
He did go to the hospital, yes.
Okay. What were the nature of his injuries, if you know?
He had some facial cuts and bruises.
Okay. Released that night?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You have any questions for the officer?
No.
Okay. Anything, Commissioner?
I have no questions.
Captain, just let me get through this and then we'll get to you. Anybody else speak on this? Or if you have any questions, Attorney Leahy?
Just when you spoke to the individuals that they said they'd been inside the bar, did they tell you they'd been drinking inside the bar?
Yes.
That's the only question I have.
Anybody else, Captain, put forward?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
If you would. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you know about this?
All right, I wrote everything down, so first I'd like to say that we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing and running a safe and lawful place. We have police details every Friday and Saturday nights. We are strict with checking IDs and have purchased a $1,500 ID checking machine. We do not overserve our customers, and everybody is out by 1:55. In the early morning hours of April 5th, we had some servicemen in the bar. They had approximately 2 drinks each and never had an argument. I brought the bartender that waited on them and the manager, who was also working that night, Sarah Foster and Jason Keys, and they'd like to tell you themselves exactly what happened.
Sure.
May they speak?
Sure.
My name is Jason Keys. I am the assistant manager on duty. I've been there since Mr. Economo and Lorraine bought the place, approximately 22 months. I have been there 7 nights a week, and that is my job. On the night of this incident, there were Marines, there were Coast Guards. Both of the groups arrived there between 12:30, 12:45.
Did they come together?
Not together, no.
Okay.
There is approximately 4 to 5 Coast Guard guys. They were on the left side of the bar, 3 Marine guys on the right side of the bar. Never engaged in any type of conversation. I was up there the whole night. As stated, 2 to 3 drinks per group. I stayed up there. I watched the whole thing. Nobody even made a comment to one another. 1:30, a last call. 2 o'clock, I stand at the door every night, as I have done since we got the place. And I say to everybody, have a good night, be safe. So I watched everybody leave the door. Nobody appeared to be intoxicated at all. It was a snowy night, everybody left, everybody was out by 1:55. I lock the door, I come back in. And all of a sudden, I see someone push one of them. So I run back out.
Wait a minute. You see someone push?
I see a Marine
Yeah.
push one of the other group, Coast Guard. They're out front, they're all
Yeah.
getting ready to leave.
Out front of the establishment?
Out front of this establishment,
Yeah.
correct. No words were said as they're going out, besides myself, wishing them a good and safe night. Nobody appeared to be intoxicated at all. Like I said, I saw the Marine push the Coast Guard. I went out there to interfere, to break it up. I said, hey, the police are going to be on their way. You guys need to separate. The Marine was very aggressive. I believe the defendant's name was Stubbs, and he actually went after the Coast Guards. I grabbed one of the Coast Guard guys and pulled him aside. I got in the middle of the 8 individuals and tried to break up the fight. My bartender did call the police, and I did my best to break up the fight. As far as I knew, it was broken up. The Marines started to head down the street. The Coast Guard guys remained in front of the bar. Next thing I knew, the police did show up, and they took care of the situation.
Great, thank you. Any questions?
Just with respect to, you said there was 2 or 3 drinks per group. Was that per individual? 2 to 3 drinks in the hour so that they were there?
Correct.
Okay. That's the only question.
What time did they get there, you said?
I would say between 12:15 and 12:45. Both
Okay.
groups,
And
not together.
When do you serve the last drink?
Like 1:30 is our last call.
Last call, okay.
Last call. 1 o'clock, we do not let anybody in, no matter who you are.
And you said they arrived about the same time, they're both?
Approximately 10 to 15 minutes in a difference.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And I have my bartender here, and she's the one who made the call
Okay.
via them.
Sure. Okay.
I only served them
Why
to
don't you just state your name for the
Sarah
record?
Foster.
Okay.
They got there between, like Jay said, 12 and 12:45. I served them 1 to 2 drinks each. And when the fight broke out, I called the cops right away.
You could see the fight in the front?
Yes.
And you see any activity that happened in the front of the bar? In the bar, that is?
In the bar, no, they didn't even talk to each other. They were on opposite sides.
Is there anybody else in the bar?
There was a couple other people in the bar, maybe 3 or 4 other people in the bar. It was really slow, so.
Yeah. And again, the last call was 1:30 that night?
1:30, and I try to get everybody out of there between 1:50 and 1:55.
Was there any rowdy behavior inside the bar?
No, it was really, like I said, really quiet, and there was nothing really going on, so I didn't think that there would be any problems.
All right.
And
was there music playing, TVs on, what was it?
I turned down the music at 1:30 when I do last call.
Okay,
So
so there's music that the jukebox is
yeah,
playing.
and I turn off all the TVs.
Okay.
Okay.
Counselor, anything?
No questions.
Thank you. Sure.
I had something else to tell you. When I saw the police report, it stated that the witness was the manager of Paradisio's, Mario something. I tried to get a hold of him for a week to get his side of what happened. It took a week because he was on vacation in Florida, and I don't really know the gentleman. Finally, I got his number, and he said he would email me a statement. I have copies of that, the police witness, a statement from him that I'd like to hand to you.
Sure.
Could I give it? This is a statement from the police witness, because
Yeah.
he was in the bar the whole time.
All right. He was in your bar?
Yes. He was in the bar. He wasn't in the apartment up top when he saw it. He was right there.
Oh, is this the one? Okay.
Yeah, the one the police, he said that they were up in the apartment. He was in our bar and left with them. But he didn't know the guys. They were all let out at the same time. There was about 12 people. That's all that was in there that night. Could I read something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. The police witness who has been in the restaurant and liquor business for 9 years stated they were fine in a bar. They did not argue and they were not intoxicated.
Yeah, I read that.
We did everything we were supposed to do. This was a bad guy and a repeat offender who hit that serviceman and kicked him. He got mad about a question about the Iraq War and got arrested and went to jail like he needed to. He was a bad guy. We did everything we were supposed to do. And I'd like to say I have the highest regard for the Lowell Police and what they stand for. But I'd like to say this, in the police report, they said they broke up the fight when in fact it was Jason Keys, and even the manager at Paradiso said that. They were walking down the street and they had to bring him back. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but you couldn't do a better job than what we're doing. We're always going to strive to do better. We also have a police detail on Friday and Saturday nights that we have asked to keep an eye on the properties next to us now, on both sides of us. He patrols the building next to us and the Athenian corner.
Okay.
I feel if we had, this got nothing to do with maybe, but if they could have more police between 11 and 3 a.m., some of these bad and rowdy people that are walking around after they leave would think twice about being rowdy. But it's not their fault. They don't have enough money to get them out there, they need patrolmen, walking around. There's not enough money in the city, I guess. Could I say one more thing?
Yeah, say as much as you want.
I lost my place, I'm sorry. When the high school kids get out, I know you guys have heard this before, and everybody, there's police officers watching all of them. The people a lot of the ones that are leaving the bars in downtown Lowell have only been out of a high school a few years. They're in their early 20s. And now they have a couple of drinks in them, walking around at 1 in the morning. They need to be watched too, and once they leave, you feel responsible because you want to make sure that they were behaved and not overserved and everything when they left, but it's hard to...
You say that, and you're right, because you are responsible once they leave.
Yeah.
You carry that responsibility a long way
I know
if you're serving them alcohol, whether it's right or wrong. I mean, that's the way it is. That's the liquor industry. You buy that responsibility for a long time until they probably get safely home, because it's going to happen. If something happens, you're going to trace where this guy's been, A, B, and C, do it for a living, and your responsibility is until he gets home into bed. Unfortunately, that's sometimes how it is, so, you have to do more than doing enough. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it.
I understand that, and that's
Anything
how
else?
we feel too, that...
Anything else?
No, that's...
Counselor, anything?
I would just point out that, again, this letter from Mario Acapaya, you obviously the commission can take it for what it's worth, but it's unsigned. I mean, you can take it for what it's worth, but again, it's from an individual, if nothing else, who has a similar interest in terms of having a license in downtown. I think you're left with, Officer Boutsellis, who, in his experience, he was familiar with one of the guys, said it clearly they were all intoxicated. I have to think that having no involvement with any of the armed forces, that they can take a little lip, and clearly alcohol had to have played a role in this altercation, because I can't believe if alcohol wasn't involved that they would have acted the way they acted. And I think clearly there's an issue of over-serving, whether obviously it was unintentional, but it did result in a bad incident happening outside the bar.
Commissioner, anything?
I mean, I would disagree with whether or not this could be caused with or without alcohol. The first time you bury one of your friends who's died in Iraq, I think you get a right to speak on that topic. I could easily see where if this was, some Coast Guard guys and guys who'd battled in Fallujah exchanging words, that it could easily come to blows, alcohol or no alcohol. There's some pretty strong feelings out there on the subject. Obviously, we're dealing with a person who is a criminal, who has a criminal history. We did have a bartender who immediately notified the police, and a manager who did break up a fight. I mean, I'm not sure that I'm necessarily convinced that over-serving was the cause of this, and that it wasn't just some pretty high tensions. I guess I'd probably need to know a little bit more about what was said or what was alleged to have been said, but I don't believe that that's the only possible cause. I mean, I understand that you have your opinion on it, but I can tell you that the first time one of your guys is dead and somebody says something bad about what's going on over there, I could see some overreaction. I'm not excusing it, I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that there are other potential causes out there.
I'm looking at it in terms, Captain, anything to add?
No, we don't.
Any recommendations or feelings on the subject in terms of disciplinary?
No, I think you look at it the best case scenario that apparently they might have looked at each other inside the bar or something. I think they got outside, they got close enough, everyone's leaving at the same time. That's when a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
And just so you know, for the record, that we did receive a call from inside the bar about the fight.
Okay.
That was a report. If you look at the report, that's
I'm kind
reported.
of, you kind of take it, like I said, it's not a notarized signature or anything, but he identifies himself, he identifies where he works, and he's forthright about it,
Puts his phone number in.
I'm just trying to.
Say why that's not signed, because he emailed it. He's in Florida still.
Okay, I understand that. I understand that. Again, I think it's just a situation that, obviously, there's some tensions there that probably developed. I don't see anywhere in the statement where he said anything negative in terms of, he just kind of wondered if he had been there, so. But the thing that strikes me a little bit is, it's a repeat offender to the officer, and the officer saw him as aggressive, so whether he needs alcohol to be aggressive, I don't know, So from my perspective, I look at it as saying that, just in terms of you being here in front of us, I make a motion to just put it on record for 6 months, just so you're aware that, you say you're doing all you can, and you're doing your best you can, but I'm telling you, this day and age, you have to go above and beyond. You got to be an all-star. You got to be a superstar. You have to go to the Pro Bowl. You have to if you don't want to. And it's hard. And I'm not saying that it's not an unfair thing, but I'm saying that's what you have to be. You have to be an all-star in this business now. And if you're not, you're gonna run us as a problem. So my recommendation is to put it on record for 6 months. Just place it on file. And they'll take any disciplinary action. And again, I think you're working hard. And I think you got to continue to work hard, but as high as you think you are, you got to strive to get higher. That's the way that business is. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 8-9 years. I wouldn't want to own one. Your choice, and I wish you well on it. It's a tough way to make a living, but that'll be my recommendation based on what I've heard today.
I'll second that recommendation. I think you guys are on the right track. I think your staff went above and beyond by actually stepping outside and assisting in trying to defuse the situation once it escalated. Obviously, if we see this coming back, if we see some kind of a pattern developing, that's another matter. But there was an incident. I will second the motion to just place it on file.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, just as a summary, we have just a few things to finish up our meeting, if you wish. Communications from the Kentla Valley, the acting superintendent of police, reports alleged illegal activity by tenants residing at premises 114 and 120 Cabot Street on April 13th and May 1, 2007. So we just place those on file for the time being?
Yeah, if he comes in and he gets his, he says he's got to have his license. If he comes in and he gets his, gets the license, then I think we should have a public hearing. Hopefully would retain the addresses of these people. They certainly took their time out to be here, and they certainly deserve to be heard.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, there is the matter to do with the scheduling of a hearing on allegations of misconduct charged by Ken LaValle, the acting superintendent of police, against Camara Restaurant, Inc. Vishanoon is the manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 308-310 Westford Street. Communication was originally reviewed by the License Commission on February 22nd, 2007, and the hearing had been scheduled for April the 12th. But due to an issue affecting the district attorney's office, this hearing had been postponed.
Has that been cleared, Counselor?
There has been an indictment. Through a mix-up, it hasn't been rescheduled. I did talk to Attorney Elides about getting a new date. He's unavailable the 24th of May, but is available for the following, for the June 14th date.
Put it on then, June 14th?
So continue to June 14th, okay?
Yep. And that will be it, June 14th. So we can send them a letter and say, you know, I mean, this incident took place,
Well, Mr. Chairman, I just bring you up to
Yeah.
recall
Original
at the time
complaint.
one of the officers who was just here before you had underwent some severe
Injuries.
trauma from
Yeah.
this, and he had to be taken care of. So I think it was Captain Demora's recommendation to.
Oh, I agree, but, and I have no problem with that, but I think that, you know, the 14th was plenty of time, and we
Okay.
should notify him.
Okay.
We don't need another.
Yeah, okay. All right. Also, just quickly, we have applications for alcohol beverage licenses that will be advertised in tomorrow's Lowell Sun newspaper. There'll be legal notices. First would be a transfer of the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license from Amigos, Inc., doing business as Sangria's Mexican-American Cafe. Matthew Pellegrino is the president. To Sangria's, Inc., Michael J. Doyle, president, for premises at 177-179 Central Street. The second application is for transfer of the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license from Brinker, Massachusetts Corporation, doing business as Chili's Grill and Bar. Brian McCrory is the treasurer. To corporation known as Pepper Dining, Inc., Paul A. Rubin is director, premises at 22 Reese Ave. And last is in the application for an original beer and wine license for restaurant by Kyoto Japanese, Inc., doing business as at Soko Sushi and Asian Cuisine. Stephen Lean, president, for premises at 16 Merrimack Street. I believe those hearings would be for the next meeting.
Yep, no problem.
And that's next meeting being May 24th.
May 24th? Okay. Do you have anything you want to bring up, Sergeant Demora? No?
Just want to mention, I want to just give you this. We, this is a service that we went through, police chiefs and what have you throughout last week in reference to the liquor laws in the state of Massachusetts, just to get us up to speed. And that's what we're going to try to bring forward to all the licensees, with your permission, so we can bring them all together and say, this is what we expect. You know, these are some of the things, as you mentioned, some of these machines.
Yeah.
We talked about.
Yeah.
And so they're all brought into one room. We can ask questions.
Well, okay, but, you know, doing that,
To look at it.
okay.
You know, you can talk, let us know if you like something.
Do you- Okay.
I think it's a good idea to at least have some minimal standard that we expect.
Right.
and
Well,
something that we should be considering when we're looking at disciplinary cases, whether or not they've started meeting this recommended standards.
Okay, I think that's a wonderful idea, and I would say to you, you know, in all sincerity, they had the Downtown Neighborhood Association and the bar owners had a meeting that Chief LaValle had hosted here in the chambers. I think you came to, didn't you, Ray?
I did.
Okay.
Sat in
The
back.
troublemakers weren't here,
Right.
okay?
Right.
The troublemakers weren't here. The people that you would have expected that, you know, the guys going to be up front, the ones that you see in here, they weren't here.
Right.
Okay? Everybody else that's struggling to try to survive, they were here. So I don't know how we can do that, and I would leave that to legal counsel, but these are some great ideas. But we've got to come up with a way of making them attend and saying, you know, I know you can't say, well, if you don't attend, we're going to take your license, but it's what I was saying to them before about, you know, we can't fine people, but would you say to somebody, I'll give you a week closure, or you can buy a machine? I'm not making a fine, I know.
I could double check, but I believe you could promulgate a regulation that, you know, at the renewal of each license, that they have to attend some type of meeting or do something like that.
Like
if
a
you
continuing ed type thing, yeah. that
Right,
would
you
be
certainly
great.
could, you certainly could add that
Okay.
as a, obviously you'd have to have a public hearing and
Yeah.
adopt, but you certainly could have a regulation
That would be
like
great.
that.
Do you have more of these, or this?
I'll leave that with you.
Okay. All right. That would be great, because most of this stuff ends up on Ryan's back, and he tries to work with these people, But if, you know, some of them, they're not gonna work with you, you know they're not. And you know, we come in and have the meeting, but it's up to him to put that all together, to try to educate them in what they need to do. So if we can do something like that, where he can write them a letter and say, you know, they passed an ordinance, if you don't attend, you don't get your license, they'll sit up and listen.
I don't think you need to have an ordinance. I think you'd need to have, adopt the regulation of the License Commission itself would
Okay.
adopt.
All right, good. That'll be great, that'll save that headache. Anything else anybody can think, do you have anything you want to bring up?
No.
No. Anything you want to bring up? Anything to bring up?
Nothing to bring up.
We're coming home, Benjamin.
Second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, we got, Mr. Councilor Caulfield, have we got your desk here?